Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be doing a public speech about myself, introducing myself to everybody, and I'm just going to be focusing on stuff such as what I like, who I am as a person, my hobbies, stuff that's just really important to me and what you should get to know about me, as well as focusing on why I feel like others may be apprehensive or scared or whatever the reason may be for public speaking. So, to start it off, I'd like to introduce myself, stuff about me. I have ADHD, OCD, and severe anxiety. And it's not just anxiety for one thing or another, it's all sorts of other stuff that I can really pinpoint. I like to strive and focus on ways to get past that without the use of medication or other stuff like that. And I'm because of that, I feel like I'm a very social person. I like going out, talking to people, meeting new friends, just anything to do with that type of stuff. Another thing I would really like to talk about myself is my hobbies, stuff that I'm interested in. One thing I'm really big into is music. I love music and I love collecting music. I have a little bit of visual aid here. This is The Head on the Door by The Cure. It's just a recent vinyl I got for my collection because I'm just really passionate about music and anything to do with it. I also just like hanging out with friends, which I feel like is something you could put in stuff about me, but I feel like it's more of a hobby. So, like me waking up and being like, hey, Ethan, do you want to come hang out with me? If I'm not doing anything like that, I'm usually playing video games or catching up on schoolwork if I'm not being too lazy to, which I usually am. Um, and I feel like that brings me to my final point, which is why I feel like others may be apprehensive or scared or whatever the reason may be to public speak. And I said it myself just a minute ago. I feel like a big reason of that is being scared. Coming from someone who has anxiety, I feel like being anxious can really make you just think of the whole picture instead of focusing on what you need to focus on, such as what does he think about me? What does she think about me? This and that, instead of just doing what you want to do, saying what you want to say. I feel like another reason, and this applies to me as well, is people just don't find it important. I dropped the class because I didn't find it important, but you never know when you're going to need to public speak and how important it really just is in the big picture. And so that's a little bit about me. If there is anything I'd want anybody to take away from this speech, is if you'd want to get to know me, stuff you can already know about me, like hobbies, this and that, like start up a conversation with me about video games or music or whatever. Another thing is how I present myself, like how I speak, my hand motions, anything to do with that type of stuff. And yeah, that is my public speech.